Oh, it's really hard as well. It's all stuck together. Oh, this is not a good start. Hi everyone, welcome to another art video with me, Laura, and in this video I'm going to be trying out kiddies paints because I see these throughout the summer. They're always selling these kind of back to school art supplies, and I've always wondered if you can actually paint anything decent with these watercolors, because I feel like kids are getting a bad experience. And I think a lot of kids, they're trying to paint, they want to be good at watercolor or other types of paints, and then they're like, oh, I'm really bad at painting, and it may not be them, it may just be the fact they're using crappy paints. Not saying these are crap, but anyway, I've got a little cheap kiddie's brush to go with it. It's not one of those really bad ones, it's slightly better, but it's still a very, very cheap brush. So we're going to try and paint some watercolor flowers, something simple, to see if we can actually get something decent out of these kiddie paints. Okay, so I think the one thing that I'm not going to scrimp on is the paper. I think watercolor paper is the way to go. We just can't use normal paper. So I'm going to be making a little bookmark, just some loose florals, my little technique that I like to do. So let's get one of these little watercolor bookmark pieces of paper. And first of all, let's open up these paints. So I haven't even opened these yet. Let's see. Yep, they look like the typical kiddie watercolor paint. So I'm actually really excited to use this. I think it's going to be a really fun experiment. So let's get our little brush, and look at the state of that brush. That's just so bad. I just really don't know how they... Oh, it's really hard as well. It's all stuck together. Oh, this is not a good start. How do they expect kids to develop a love for painting when they're having to deal with materials like this? Okay, it's a little bit better. It's got like no point to it. Okay, well, anyway, we're going to get some masking tape, and I'm just going to mask down our little piece of paper. Okay, we've got our bookmark taped down. I think the only thing I've noticed is we don't have a palette to work with, so I guess we can use this here. Well, we'll try. And let's move our water over here. Okay, so let's begin. Let's do some blossoms, I think. Some blossoms floating in the wind. Let's give our brush a good wash because it's in a terrible condition. So bad. Okay, so I think we'll use this color here. Not too bad. Using this as a palette. So we have a nice blossomy color, and what I like to do with my loose florals is just make some nice abstract marks like this. It can look like little flowers, little flowers, little blossoms, little florals. And let's do another one. Actually, this pigment is really good. I'm actually genuinely surprised. Okay, so really, really loose. Let's add another color into that because we're working with watercolors. So let's bleed some other colors into that, into our pink. That's so nice. And of course, one technique in watercolor is, oh, this brush is terrible, is taking off some of the paint like this. So we can do that. And also what I like to do is add a little bit of water and make our flowers just a little bit more abstract. like nice. Something. Okay, so we have some little wild blossom loose flowers floating in the wind. And then what I like to do is just some like little blobs just around. And we're gonna really blend those out with water. And I'm struggling with this brush. I mean, it's not terrible on this brush, but it's not great either. But I think it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Okay, so we got some little pink watercolory splodges, and then I think we're going to add a green. This looks like quite a nice green here. So again, we're just going to add, that's a very vivid green. Okay, I need to add maybe a little bit of warmth to that green. It's a little bit too vivid. Making the cardinal error of mixing up my colours. Okay, so we've got more of a ochre green, a little bit too ochre. That's quite good. That's a bit better. Anyway, we're gonna blend this out anyway, so we're not gonna worry too much about the green. And I need to get rid of that because that's really bothering me. There we go. Okay. So these are just abstract-y background colours, like so. Okay, and then I'm going to let that dry, and then we're going to add a little bit of pen over the top, just because that's what I like to do. Okay, so I've dried that with a hairdryer because I don't have any patience. And okay, this is not a child's particular pen. This is just a water and fade proof, apparently, fine line pen. So we're going to now draw over the top. I mean, if it's dry, you could pretty much use any pen, to be honest. But I just like to use this pen. And what I like to do is just to draw over in an abstract-y way over my petals. And there we go. There is our finished children's watercolor painting. So I'll take off the tape. And this took me all of about 5 or 10 minutes. With very loose, not trying to paint anything in particular, very abstract-y, loose florals. And there we go. There is our finished bookmark. And I'm actually really impressed with these children's paints. So yeah, even that worked as a little palette. So there we go. If you want to know if it's possible to paint something relatively decent with children's watercolour paints and a children's brush, I mean, yeah, I would recommend upgrading the brush. But it wasn't terrible. It survived. So there we go. Kudos to whatever brand this is. No idea. But I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope it's inspired you and maybe your children as well to give these paints a try. So I will see you soon in another arty video. Thanks for watching. Bye.